you and I both know something. Deep down, right now, there's more in you. There's more in your heart. There's more in your spirit. There's more in your destiny. The truth is this: most people in life settle. They settle for what's comfortable, for what's easy, for what's familiar. But I want to challenge you right now to break through. To rip through those invisible walls that have kept you playing small, because inside you there is a giant. Inside you there is a power. Inside you there is a force that is greater than any circumstance, greater than any obstacle, greater than any fear. Let me ask you something. How many of you, at some point in your life, have felt like you were stuck? Like no matter how hard you worked, you weren't moving forward, you weren't growing, you weren't progressing, you were just existing. Raise your hand, even if you're watching this alone, because that honesty is where transformation begins. Now listen to me. Stuck is not a place. Stuck is a state. Stuck is an emotion. And emotions can be shifted in a single moment if you make the decision. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week. Right now. The difference between people who create extraordinary lives and those who live ordinary ones is not intelligence, not resources, not luck. It's decisions. It's the power of decision. Every moment you're deciding who you are, what you're willing to tolerate, and how high you're willing to climb. You've been conditioned your whole life, conditioned to believe what you can or can't do, conditioned to play small, conditioned to stay safe. But safe will never fulfill you. Safe will never set your soul on fire. Safe will never make you feel alive. So the question is, are you ready to break free? I want you to hear me on this. Success is not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. Some of the greatest people who've walked this earth started with nothing. No money, no connections, no education, no privilege. What they had was hunger. Hunger to do more, to be more, to serve more. If you're hungry, nothing can stop you. If you're hungry, you'll crawl through glass to achieve it. If you're hungry, you'll knock on doors until someone lets you in. If you're hungry, you'll find a way or make a way. Hunger is the ultimate edge. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Tony, you don't understand my situation. You don't know my pain, my past, my failures. And you're right. I don't know the details of your story. But here's what I know. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. Your past does not equal your future unless you live there. What defines you is the meaning you give to those experiences. Every painful moment of your life has the power to destroy you or to build you. You can use it as a reason to quit, or you can use it as fuel to rise. Do you want to know what real freedom is? It's when you take the worst day of your life and turn it into the reason you'll never stop. That's power. That's transformation. So let's talk about standards, because your life right now is a reflection of your standards. Not what you want, not what you hope for, not what you dream about, but what you absolutely will not settle for. If you tolerate being broke, you'll stay broke. If you tolerate being out of shape, you'll stay out of shape. If you tolerate toxic relationships, you'll keep living in them. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the standards you set for yourself. Raise your standards and everything changes. I don't mean just wanting more. I mean making the decision that you will not settle for less than you are capable of. I mean demanding of yourself to show up differently, to act differently, to live differently. Change is never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of drive. It's always a matter of commitment. It's always a matter of deciding, I will no longer live this way. I demand more of myself. Now let me tell you something. There are two invisible forces that shape your destiny: pain and pleasure. Everything you do is driven by the need to avoid pain or the desire to gain pleasure. The problem is, most people link pain to the very things that would change their lives. They say, it's too hard to work out. It's painful to save money. It's painful to be disciplined. And so they avoid the very actions that would free them. But leaders, achievers, extraordinary people, they rewire that pattern. They link pain to inaction. They say, if I don't get healthy, the pain of regret will crush me. If I don't create wealth, the pain of struggle will destroy my family. If I don't live with discipline, the pain of mediocrity will eat me alive. And then they link massive pleasure to growth, contribution, achievement. This is how you take control of your life, by taking control of your associations. Change what you link pain and pleasure to, and you change your destiny. Listen, your brain is like a supercomputer, and your beliefs are the software. If you believe you can't, you won't. If you believe you're not enough, you'll prove yourself right. But if you start feeding your mind with empowering beliefs, unstoppable beliefs, unshakable beliefs, your life will never be the same. Here's a truth I need you to write on your heart. The strongest force in the human personality is the need to remain consistent with how we define ourselves. If you call yourself lazy, you'll act lazy. If you call yourself broke, you'll keep being broke. But if you call yourself disciplined, focused, unstoppable, guess what? You'll live into that identity. Identity is destiny. Change your identity, and you change your life. But it's not enough to just say it. You've got to condition it. Every day. Over and over. Because repetition is the mother of skill. What you repeat, you become. That's why rituals matter. Successful people don't just set goals. They create rituals that align with who they want to be. Rituals of movement, of learning, of gratitude, of action. Rituals that prime them for success every single day. Let me ask you, what are your rituals? Are they rituals of progress or rituals of procrastination? Because every choice you make is either pulling you closer to your destiny or further away. Now, let's talk about energy. Because without energy, you have nothing. Energy is the fuel of greatness. Energy is the difference between showing up average and showing up unstoppable. Energy is the foundation of confidence, charisma, leadership, love, and contribution. And where does energy come from? Not from caffeine, not from luck, not from genetics. Energy comes from your psychology and your physiology. Energy comes from what you focus on, what you believe, and how you move your body. Stand up tall, breathe deeply, move with purpose, and instantly your state shifts. Change your state, and you change your behavior. Change your behavior, and you change your life. So here's the breakthrough. Success is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. Most people think it's about strategies, but strategies without the right state, without the right psychology, mean nothing. The right psychology, the right state, the right hunger, they will make strategies work. I've coached billionaires, athletes, presidents, and people in the darkest moments of their lives. And you know what the common thread is? When they shift their psychology, their entire world changes. So I want you to do something right now. I want you to decide. Decide that today is the day you stop playing small. Decide that today is the day you unleash your power. Decide that today is the day you rewrite your story. Because if not now, when? If not you, who? The time is now. The person is you. And let me tell you something. Life is happening for you, not to you. Everything you've been through was preparing you for this moment. Every heartbreak, every failure, every setback, it was shaping you, strengthening you, equipping you. You have been forged in fire, and you are stronger than you've ever imagined. But strength unused is wasted. Potential unexpressed is pain. Don't let the music die inside you. Don't let the dream fade. Don't let fear rob you of the life you were meant to live. Your family needs you to rise. The world needs you to rise. You need you to rise. So rise. Rise with passion. Rise with purpose. Rise with power. You are more than enough. You are capable. You are unstoppable. This is your time. This is your moment. Unleash the giant within you and go create the life you were destined for.